Hi, I'm Susie Miller, the Better Relationship Coach, and I'm committed to helping you create better relationships with God, yourself, and others. And on today's episode of Better Relationship TV, we're going to be talking about one of the number one things required to create great relationships, and that's listening. It's the first day of spring, and although there's snow out on my terrace, 2 inches here in the DC area, I'm going to still talk to you about growth. And growing strong relationships requires the skill of listening. Now, I don't know about you, but I think we all think we're good listeners. This is Bella, my puppy, sorry. She's just snuggled up here with me, staying warm. But I think we all think we're good listeners, and when we ask the people in our lives if they feel like we listen well, they might hesitate to answer. And the reality is, I think good relationships require us to be honest with each other. We must be willing to both say and to hear hard things. I don't like hearing hard things about myself, about how I've disappointed somebody, or let somebody down, or hurt the feelings of my friend, or my husband, or my spouse. In fact, I'd really like to not talk about my mistakes or my failures. I'd like people just to pretend they don't exist. I don't know about you, but wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have to deal with somebody saying, you know what, that really bothered me. That really hurt my feelings. You disappointed me when you didn't show up for me. And oftentimes when that happens, the very first response for me is the inner defense lawyer comes out. She's got her arguments ready. She's articulate. She's usually defensive and kind of has that tone of, hey, listen up, buddy, versus, oh, wait, I'm the one who's supposed to be listening here. So what I want to ask you is, when your spouse or your kid or your friend or even a family member comes to you and says, you know what, the other day when we were talking and you kept picking up your smartphone and texting or checking it, it really hurt my feelings. Is your first response, oh, wow, I'm sorry, thanks for telling me that. I really appreciate you being honest with me. That is not my first response by a long shot. I have to really practice to have that response. Is your response, wow, tell me more about how that hurt your feelings or how that made you feel. I bet you felt really ignored and not important. And if you ever said something like that, they'd be like, wow, thanks, yeah, I did. Or even if you just said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Any of those is a great response to somebody coming to you and telling you something that's hard for them to say and hard for you to hear. And so one of the first things I want to talk about with listening is pause. Pause for a moment so that you don't respond with defense or explanation or scrambling or my favorite, well, you did blah, 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 blah. So after you pause, really listen to what they're saying. If you don't understand, you can say, what I hear you saying is, you were upset because you felt like I wasn't paying attention to you while I was on my smartphone. Make sure that you understand what they're saying. And then listen and say, I'm sorry. Listen to what impact your actions had on them. That's really what they want. We want to be heard. We want to be seen. They want to know that you care enough to know that you hurt their feelings, that you disappointed them, that what you did was inconsiderate. And while you might not want to hear it, if you're willing to own it and listen and say, thanks for telling me, I'm going to work on that, it'll really help your relationships. So try it. Let me know how it works. And I'll see you next time on Better Relationship TV.